Hey YouTube, this is Gracie and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a continuation from yesterday's video in which I showed off how to make a Disney bounding Moana greeting card just like this. So if you guys are interested in that, I will leave a link at the end of this video. So head on over after that and take a look at it. So I promised in that video that I would show how to make this shaker card, which is a replica of the Heart of Fiti from the movie Moana. So I'm going to show you guys how I made that, as well as how to make, or how I made rather, the necklace that Moana's grandmother gave to her that ends up holding the Heart of Fiti. So basically the very first thing I did was I took my Spellbinders Nestabilities die cut set, 5 die cut set, and classic ovals, and I took the largest oval and then the second largest oval, and I cut out a piece of green cardstock. Once I did that, I took my double-sided foam adhesive tape and I cut that adhesive tape down the center so that it would be nice and thin. And once I got a piece long enough, I basically just held it down, placed it down around the border of that green cardstock. And once I was finished with that, I ended up taking the same large die cut. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let me show you the correct one. And I cut out a piece of transparency paper. Now this transparency paper you can find at most scrapbooking stores, also any teacher supply stores. And I just cut that out with the large die cut, oval die cut. And then I also did a green border, so which you can kind of see this frame here around the edge. And I took those two sizes of die cuts and I placed them together and ran them through the die cut machine. So what you see in the center here, all of this missing space, is what the frame ends up coming out of. So once I glued those two pieces together, I placed them on top of the double-sided foam adhesive piece of cardstock. And before that also, you have to add some sparkles, some glitter for the shaker card part. So I used my Recollections chunky glitter, which I got for this project specifically. Once I saw it, I fell in love with it. I love glitter. So I got the, used a little bit of the blue and then mostly this green color here. And this I also got at Michael's. And I just shook that in the middle, just poured a little, bundle of that in there, and then placed all the layers together. After that was done, I took my liquid pearls, dimensional pearlescent white opal, and I just did the design by hand, and I just referenced a picture of the Heart of Fiti. Now for the back side of the card, I took another piece of cardstock and die cut the same large oval, and then I cut it down the center, so that way when you tape down the sides you can open it and voila, there's your sentiment, as well as a little bit more decorations inside. So the heartfelt thanks is the sentiment. And the reason I put all of these flowers is because if you've seen the movie Moana, you'll know that the Heart of Fiti is what gives the world life and creates, islands and flowers and trees and everything. So I kind of thought that would be a cool effect to open it as if it was blossoming and giving life. So that's why I decided to do that. And to get the actual sentiment, I used this one here from Penny Black. And I use this sentiment here, and this one I believe we got at some scrapbooking store. I can't remember which one, but I'm pretty sure you could probably order this online as well. So also for the flowers, I used the Recollections paper flowers in orange, and I just glued those down. As you can see, they are a little bit chunky and dimensional, so I just glued them and pressed them down so that they would lay flat. And then for these other flowers, I used these two punches and just did them in scrap paper that I had lying around, and then just glued them all down. Used some Stickles for the center little dots there to make it look more fun and glittery. So that's how I made the actual Heart of Fiti. Now let me show you guys how I made the necklace that Moana wears. So what I did for this one is I took my Simply Defined from Scrapbooking Made Simple. This is the must-haves, dotted, stitched, and cross-hatched ovals, and this is a large set of 23 dies. And basically I used the second and third solid oval die cuts, which are these two right here. And basically I took the large piece and die cut out a piece of blue cardstock. And you want to use some thick cardstock so that way it holds up and it doesn't get too warped or bent as you're creating this card. So once I took that, I ended up doing using some Simply Defined from Scrapbooking Made Simple, Simply Dimensional Foam Adhesive Sheets. Now these are the 8x10s, and I got these from the actual store, Scrapbooking Made Simple. Little shout out to Stacy there. We just found out today that unfortunately her house burnt down. So if you guys are watching this and you know about Stacy, I talk about her quite a bit in my haul videos. Definitely send some love her way. Scrapbooking Made Simple. Just, you know, send happy thoughts, prayers, whatever, send them her way, because that's really sad that her house burnt down. So sad. So basically I used that foam sheet and I cut out a little frame like this, and basically it created my border that I needed. So what I did was I again took the two pieces and ran that through the die cut machine, and this is kind of what it came out to look like. Show you guys. So it cut out the small circle or small oval, and then also the space in between you see there is, let me try and get this to line up correctly. The space in between is what the frame ended up coming out from. So I had to cut some more of the edges away so that the Heart of Fiti would fit inside like this. And then once I did that, I used my liquid pearls in baby blue and just put that on the back side of the foam adhesive so that way it wouldn't stick to the lid. Once that was dried, I added the little piece of paper in between, so that would be my hinge, and then I created the top. So to create the top, you're going to want to cut out another large oval with the blue cardstock, and then I used a stencil to create that silvery white stuff on the top of the shell, and I used this paper here to do that. It's like a silvery white kind of weird paper. I don't know how to describe that other than that. And I cut that out using my stencil, and then I used a black marker pen from Le Pen, and I just did the designs by hand, once again just referencing an image from Google actually. Now to get the effect that the shell has, I used a bunch of the Stickles. I used the glitter Stickles in baby blue and what does that say? Turquoise, I think. It's hard to read. And then I also used a little bit of this purple, which is actual purple. And then I also used mostly the liquid pearls in baby blue as well. And I just did the design, and then I kind of blended it with my finger a little bit. I know it's not perfect, but it's the best I could come up with. Then I also took some more little just tab of paper, and that way I could use it to close. And I just kind of flip that around and tuck that inside. Now I came up with this idea because back when I was in elementary school, we had to do this project where we all learned about the good old days back in the day in America when schools were like this small community, and basically we ended up getting new fake names, and we got to earn fake money and start our own little shops and stuff. So one of the many things that I tried to sell in my little shop were wallets, and this was the little latch that I used to use on a lot of my designs. So I remembered that, and that's how I came up with this idea on how to close it. So to cover up all of the, gluing of these pieces of cardstock together, I just placed a larger simple piece to cover up what you would have seen behind this piece here, as well as this one here. So you can kind of see how I layered the two pieces of cardstock together. And there you have it. Once you get your necklace, you can then put your Heart of Fiti inside. And also, since we do have the main card sentiment on the heart of Fiti, you can use the necklace to handwrite whatever you want to write to the person that you're giving this to. So there you go, there you have it. There is your heart of Fiti and your necklace, Moana necklace. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe to my channel for more cards like this and for more adventures. And again, send your love over to Stacy from Scrapbooking Made Simple. Just let her know that you are thinking of her in her time of need. I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and stay tuned for next week's. Have a great day. Bye!